Hi guys, so it's like 15 days since I had my teeth out now, and I'm feeling quite well. Well, I say quite well. I'm healing well, all things considered. Right, I'll start at the beginning. So I got my teeth out, and there's more to come out obviously, but I got my teeth out and I vlogged that as best I could. At first I was feeling okay. I'm a good girl. At first I was feeling okay. I had a bit of an adrenaline rush the day after, and I felt kind of like hyper and I wanted to do things, and I had no energy. Within the week I had what would you call them, repressed trauma memories that started coming back. I started having nightmares about things that have happened in my past that I blocked out, and like really quite horrific stuff that I would talk about here, but I don't want to, one, upset people, and two, I don't know if talking about it could get me into a lot of trouble with the people who did it if they found out about me talking about it, and I think it could. So who's a good girl? Yeah. Freya's here. Yes, you are here. You're such a good girl. So I started having these flashbacks come up, and I can't shake them out of my head. Another thing that's been happening is I feel extremely sick, like really, really nauseous. And I've been feeling completely drained. Like the further into the healing process I get, the iller I feel. And some of the teeth that were here were infected, and I don't know if it's just my body like finally responding to that, or if it's like the infection spread, or if I did get dry socket on the last one here, and I don't know if it's that. I'm putting it down to that. I've been kind of reading about dry socket, and you can get nauseous and dizzy and stuff like that. But I can't find an explanation as to why dry socket makes you nauseous and dizzy and stuff like that. So that's a bit frustrating. We did call my dentist, my sedation dentist at the hospital, told my mum to call the dentist who referred me, and they wouldn't pick up, the phone. So my mum called the doctors, and the doctors also wouldn't pick up. So I'm kind of just trying to deal with it. I'm getting pain on and off, but it's nowhere near as bad as like the nausea and the dizziness and sore arms, and I don't know, my body just feels a mess. And I know some of it's going to be my conditions as well, but I think getting the 3 teeth taken out at once was just way too much for my body. Another thing is the swelling's pretty much mostly gone down, but if you look at this side of my face, it's like sunken in a little bit, but if you look at this side of my face, it's sunken in a lot more. And I don't know if that's like bone loss or what, and I don't know if when I get my denture, if it's gonna like support my face again. We're just gonna have to wait and see. I did quit smoking cigarettes. I say as I sucked down one of these things. I haven't actually had nicotine in quite a few days, and I was getting quite cranky. And then Jordan left a vape here this morning because he's been staying over the last 2 nights, and he's staying over again tonight. He left a vape here, and I kind of took to it. But yeah, that's how things are going for me right now. And I also got my new sofas, or couches, or settees, or whatever you want to call them. They finally came. They were meant to come when I was in the hospital, so like they delayed that. They said they'd keep a hold of the sofas, but then they sold them to somebody else, and then it took another few months after me getting out of hospital for them to finally get here, and I had to chase them down and stuff. So they're finally here, finally have them. The cat loves them, the dog loves them, and I've hardly sat on them. I'm not very good at like sitting up like this. I get quite sore and just tired sitting up like this, but I thought a little change of venue would be good, just to kind of be in a different room for a few minutes instead of just like being always in my bedroom like I always am. I really need a shower as well, but I'm feeling like the nausea and the dizziness and the exhaustion that I felt since having my teeth pulled. Like, I have showered since I had my teeth pulled out, but like the nausea, the dizziness and the exhaustion just keeps getting worse. So I've not been able to shower this week and I feel really gross. So yeah, it's affecting that. And I also got some slightly good news on the housing situation. I'm 8th on the housing list now. My mum kind of flipped out a little bit about me being 8th. She was like, who needs a house more than you do at the moment? I suppose like homeless people, but homeless people, when they're on the housing list, they get a house faster, so I don't really know why I'm 8th. They have no accessible housing at all. For this entire area, they only have 2 adapted houses, and both are occupied, and one is occupied by a family because the children might, they don't need it right now, they might need it in future. And that's really difficult for me because I need it now, and those kids are like running, jumping, screaming, dancing all the way up and down that ramp, and they go to like all these different activities, like physical activities like dancing and sports and stuff like that, and I can't even go out with my kids because I don't have a ramp. So I'm finding that like really difficult. The new housing support worker did come and was shocked at the conditions that I'm living in, and she seemed quite emotional about it. She was telling me that she has a daughter my age as well, and if she was living in this situation, she'd be disgusted, she'd be horrified. But there's nothing that she can particularly do. She can just pass on my frustrations and things that I say to the housing, and then pass on anything the housing has to say back to me, which is like, it's really disheartening, and I'm just done. They were told, I don't know if I told this, but like originally they were told that they were meant to put me in an adapted housing because I was going to need a wheelchair. Like, we had a meeting that my medical team came to, and they're like, after she's had this baby, she's going to need a wheelchair full time, you're going to have to give her a wheelchair adapted flat. And that didn't happen, and they're not going they're not even going to lower my kitchen for me. They're taking an all or nothing approach to this. So basically, because the flat is too narrow for a wheelchair user to live in, and because it has all the stairs outside, they're not even going to bother trying to do adaptations inside the house. So I'm not going to be able to use my kitchen safely at all until I move house and get a new place. And I just don't know what to do anymore. Like, I'm just so exhausted. I'm tired of basically about every professional in my life. Like, I have my psychiatrist who, when I tell him that the hospital was traumatizing for me, he says, you already had trauma, as if like, yeah, like you can't get trauma on top of trauma. Whatever I tell him, he just sweeps it aside and says something the total opposite, or says something that'll suit him, or it's always about what suits him. I have housing that are doing this all or nothing thing, and no one's offering me a place to live when I literally can't get out the apartment. Like, I can't get out unless I'm carried out or go out on my butt, and that's like, that takes up a lot of energy, and I find it really, like, I find it exhausting, and it's embarrassing as well. Like, I'm 31 now, my birthday was on Friday, like, not last Friday, but the Friday before, and I'm 31, I'm not a child. Like, maybe when I was a teenager I'd have put up with that, but it's too much on my body for a start. I'm just done with everything at the moment. And I'm stuck in a place where I can't do anything for myself to make my own situation better. And if I can, I'd like to know how. Because I can't think of a way to make my situation better for myself. Everything just is all a bit too much for me right now. And now I'm feeling miserable and sick and dizzy and exhausted from after having my teeth taken out. And it feels like I can do even less for myself now. Like, I know I'll recover from the extractions and I'll feel better soon and stuff like that, but having that added on top of everything else, it just feels like I'm stuck. Like, genuinely just stuck. And I've got this worry about, like, when I get my denture, I can't get to any of my... I've got 2 sinks in this flat. The one in the bathroom and the one in the kitchen. I can't get to either properly. So when I get my dentures, how am I meant to take care of my dentures properly? Because you've got to, like, stand and, like, well, I can't stand, but you've got to stand and, like, scrub, like, denture clean. You've got to, like, do your teeth and your gums. And it's just, like, I already struggle to reach that sink to do my teeth as it is. But I can't get my wheelchair close enough to the sink, so, like, I have to sit on the toilet and do my teeth. So, but I can barely reach the sink. So I'm not sure how I'm meant to sit and clean a denture over a sink that I can barely reach. I don't know, the whole thing's just a mess and I'm just rambling. I don't know. And on the 28th of next month, I'm getting these 2 wisdom teeth out. This top wisdom tooth's been causing me more bother. And I looked at it, like, I got a mirror and I was like pulling my gum, my cheek back and stuff. And I found out that the perfectly, like, the healthy wisdom tooth that I have, the gum has actually receded. So, like, the front root is nearly fully exposed. I don't know, everything's just a mess. I don't know what to do. And, like, the summer's coming up and I just want to, like, I want to go outside. I want to do stuff. I'm bored and I'm frustrated and I just want to go outside. I just want to get my teeth fixed and I just want to go outside. That's, like, literally all I want right now, is to be able to go outside. Like, the nice weather's starting to finally come in and I'm stuck inside for another year in a row. Another year of not getting to go to the park with my kids. Another year of not being able to go out with my fiancé. Another year of not being able to go out for walks with my dog and my mum. Another year of not being able to take my cat out in the garden. Another year of not being able to get myself to appointments. Another year of all this bullshit just round and round and round again, and it's not fair. That sounds so childish, but it's not fair. I don't know what to do anymore. And I can't afford to rent a place privately. And even if I could afford to move right now, and even if I could afford to, like, get a private let, I don't know if private lets allow you, and I highly, highly doubt that they allow you to do adaptations and modifications and ramps and lowered countertops and changing their bathrooms into wet rooms, which is what the OT said that I need. Like, I doubt a private landlord is going to be like, yeah, sure, just come in and completely, like, rip my flat apart from the inside out. Like, because if I moved out of that flat, which I would eventually have to move out of that flat, they'd have to pay to put all that back to normal. So, I don't know. That's another thing. Like, I could barely think straight as it was in the first place. Between, like, bullshit medications that they put me on and then coming off them and having my teeth taken out and feeling ill with that, I just don't feel like I can think straight. Hair in my mouth. I just feel so trapped. Like, I'm not really one for going out and doing things. Like, I'm quite a homebody and stuff even when I'm healthy. But having the option to leave would be nice, and knowing that I could get out in case of an emergency would be nice. It'd be nice to be able to, like, go to the shops if I need to go to the shops. I don't know, everything just feels so heavy right now. And the flat that I'm living in right now, it's tiny. There's no space for storage. There's no space for anything. And yeah, I have quite a bit of stuff, but I should be able to have quite a bit of stuff and still be able to store it. I really feel sorry for whoever moves into this flat next. Like, they're gonna have to, like, put up with this awkwardly shaped, annoying catastrophe of an apartment where you can't put storage in because it's too freaking cramped. It's just too much. Anyway, I'm gonna leave this here. I just needed to ramble at somebody, even if it's just my camera. So, I don't know, I guess I'll be back when I'm feeling a bit better. But for now, I barely have the energy to do all this stuff, and I just can't bring myself to film anything right now. Everything just feels like it's so on top of me. And I'm struggling with my faith as well. Like, I love Jesus, and I love God, and I love the Holy Spirit. But it feels like I'm being separated from them, and it feels like I'm being torn away from them and torn away from my faith. And it just feels like everything's happening at once. And because of stuff my psychiatrist said to me, I don't even... Hey, you're all right. Because of stuff my psychiatrist said, I don't even feel like I can go to my doctor, because I feel like my doctor's just gonna, like, gaslight me and, like, brush me off. And I don't know, I feel so over everything right now. I'm just so frustrated, and I feel so trapped. I'm sick of the nightmares. I'm sick of the flashbacks. I'm sick of not being able to do the things I want to do. I'm sick of being sore all the time. I'm sick of people, professionals, sticking their noses in areas of my life that they're not trained to deal with. I'm sick of everything. And I keep thinking in my head, I just want to go home. But this is home. This is where I live. This place has never felt like a home though. Like, I don't even like the part of the city that I live in, but I can't leave it. I don't know, everything's just hitting me all at once, I guess. Anyway, I'm gonna leave this here. It's already too long. And I'm just rambling and complaining and bitching. So I'm gonna go. So, I love you all. God loves you. You're doing amazing. I'll see you all soon.